Have you ever wondered how much money you need to make to buy $1 million home in San Diego? Well, wonder no longer. Today we're going to cover exactly how much money it takes to buy a home in San Diego based on today's interest rates, record prices, and lender guidelines. Chances are, it's not what you're going to expect. I say all of this as someone who's worked full-time in real estate since 2009 as an agent, investor, landlord, and homeowner. So I can give you firsthand experience on everything you should know about buying a home. So as we get started, there's a huge difference between buying and renting. Typically when you rent, you really just have your rent and maybe your renter's insurance, and those are really all your fixed costs. When you buy, it's much different. When you buy, you have your mortgage, which includes your principal and your interest payments. If you have a fixed interest rate, we'll just assume you have that rate until you pay off the property. And then you have your property taxes. In San Diego, we have a starting flat tax rate of 1% plus local assessments. And every municipality in San Diego is just a little bit different. Normally, we would say that your tax rate is 1.15 to 1.25% in most areas of San Diego. Now, there are several areas of San Diego with Melrose and additional assessments to live there that could add as much as $10,000 to $15,000 a year more. The next thing we have is insurance costs. When you own a property, especially with a mortgage, your lender requires a comprehensive insurance that covers the cost of the property should there be a loss. Think of like a flood, a fire, or a car driving through your garage door. The next are repairs. This might include an HVAC repair or a roof leak or a plumbing leak or something like that. I would budget a fair amount every year for these type of repairs. And then we have miscellaneous like HOA costs, landscaping, upgrades, pest control, and all the other stuff that goes into homeownership. It's normal that owning a home is probably going to cost more than renting a home. It only makes sense. Renting is normally a fixed cost, so rents should typically stay about 30% of your total monthly income. If you make $100,000 a year, you'd probably want to spend no more than $30K a year in rent. Yes, I know that's a tough thing to do here in San Diego. Another way to look at it is 50-30-20 budget. No more than 50% of your budget should be towards your housing needs, food, transportation. 30% would go to like hobbies and travel, and then 20% on saving, and then paying down any sort of debt you might have. So buying a home, you probably want to look at 28% of your income as your ability to buy a home. That's typically what lenders will look at. So take your income and multiply that times 0.28, and there you go. For most of you, your jaw just dropped because you're thinking, I'm never gonna buy a home in San Diego. Settle down, we'll get there. So if you follow the 28% rule, you'd need to make about $140,000 to comfortably afford a $500,000 property, $212,000 for a $750,000 property, and about $275,000 for $1 million property, assuming you put down 20%. And typically lenders really only care about two things: how much you make, your income, and how much debt you have. So let's start with income. It's pretty straightforward. How much money do you take in per month from your job? Or if you're self-employed, realistically, how much do you average over a rolling 12-month period? Now, obviously, for any loan, you'll need to file some tax returns. That way you want to get the best rate possible, but there are options without it. Lenders are most concerned with your debt to income ratio. Most lenders want to see that you have a debt to income ratio no more than 45% of all of your expenses. So if you make $10,000 a month, a lender will want to give you a loan no more than $4,500 of all your expenses. Now, if you have any sort of ongoing debts, let's say you got a car payment, some student loans, or some credit card, a lender would factor all of that into your debt to income ratio. So for example, if you had like $500 in student loans, maybe $750 in a car payment, maybe $250, $300 in a credit card payment, a lender's only gonna allow you to borrow $3,000 a month for your home. So if you wanna buy $1 million property, you probably need to make about $15,000 to $18,000 a month. If you're looking for a $2 million property, it's probably about $30,000 a month. Now keep in mind, these are all just estimates, and all of you are unique borrowers with your own situations, so it'll vary a little bit. So my thoughts, San Diego is no doubt expensive. It's likely you'll be paying at least 25% less to rent than you would to own. But we are in one of the most supply-constrained cities in the entire country. If you think about it, we have the border to the south, the military bases to the north, obviously the beautiful Pacific Ocean to the west, and mountains to the east, and unfortunately they won't be making more land in San Diego. So the odds of you buying a property today and it being worth more over the course of 5, 7, or 10 years are pretty likely. However, you have to look at your monthly cash flow position. It's got to make sense for you. If you're feeling confident that you can fit all your expenses and your income will probably grow and rise, then buying a home is for you. If not, renting is always an option and it's perfectly okay. Because as you guys know, we are in America's finest city and it makes sense to buy real estate here in San Diego. If you guys are thinking about buying your first home or moving up to your dream home, make sure you guys leave a comment below or click the link in the description. We'd be happy to help you out.